So, good morning all. Uh, our session chair, Mrs. Urmi Thakkar ma'am will join meanwhile. So, we'll start with today's session. As you all know that research students are playing very important role in the university research and innovation. And the activities from the research students or the publications of the research students always enhance, elevate the research culture in every university. So in this session, our 12 research students are going to present their topics and their work from 9:30 to 10:30 slots. So every research students are having a 5-minute slot. 4 minutes they have to present and 1 minute for question and answer. Because we have a huge number of research students for the presentation, that's why we limited the slots for 5 minutes. So today's session is from 9:30 to 10:30. Tomorrow we have a first session of 9 to 10, then 11:30 to 12:30, and then 1:30 to 3:10. These 3 sessions we have tomorrow. I request all the research students to be there. Today's research students and tomorrow, both the research students have to be there for the whole day. And the attendance will be taken of all the research students in the morning, afternoon and evening slots. So let us start with the PhD presentations. All the PhD presentations are from 2020 to 2023. These 3 years are covered in these 12 presentations. So our GRF Himanshi will now going to continue. Please, I'm again repeating again, 4 minutes are given for the presentation and 1 minute for the question answer. Please stick to the slots given. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Himanshi Kotai. I'm from KJ Somaiya Institute of Management. We are starting with the presentation for the PhD, PG and UG presentation. The first presenter is Bushra Sadkher. I also request Peenal Ajmera to be ready because you are next in the line.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bushra Sadkher. I am a journalist and writer by profession, and I'm a PhD scholar in the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism, Somaiya School of Humanities and Social Sciences. My research is guided by Dr. Saranya Thalur, and the title of my work is Portrayal of Religious Minorities in Primetime National TV News Channels and Digital Audiences, a Discourse Analysis. This work is important as sensationalism and repetitive material raises a lot of ethical concerns when we see on television news. There's a disparity in portrayal of minority groups in mainstream media, which is also creating a gap in understanding how primetime shows specifically on Indian TV news channels portray religious minorities. So the objectives of my research is to analyze content and frequency of primetime news on topics related to religious minority groups and understand the trends in these patterns, to assess the nature of coverage of such debates and perceptions of its digital audiences, to examine media's role in shaping perceptions and public discourse on minority communities, to recommend strategies for responsible and inclusive journalistic practices. Now, the methodology is quite intense. I'm using content and discourse analysis. I started my literature review in 2023, and in the start of 2024, I conducted a pilot study to test the effectiveness of my methodology. And I also started drafting the thesis chapters last year. And I have completed the main research data collection, which is in 2 stages. One is watching the debates, and the other is to collect the comments, specific comments, and analyze them. So the data analysis has started this month, and hopefully it will end by February. And my thesis writing is also ongoing. It might end in a few months, depending on how fast I am. And I have analyzed 86 hours, 49 minutes, and 8 seconds of primetime debates from 9 selected shows, out of which 377 hours, 48 minutes, and 12 seconds have discussed minority groups. And this will be analyzed to identify predominant themes, language, tone used, keywords, common narratives present within these debates. Out of 1,19,559 comments, I have scrutinized only 1,710 comments following very specific inclusion and exclusion criteria for my analysis. Now, the expected outcome is that it will help raise awareness about media and public opinion to foster informed, empathetic, and inclusive public debate on the challenges affecting minority communities in India, religious minorities communities, that is, and it will also help us curate new journalistic policies for inclusive and unbiased reporting. We'll also try to understand how digital audiences and their perceptions and attitudes are formed towards minority groups by watching these specific news narratives. And also it will explore potential ways to promote fair depictions of minority populations in media, especially during prime time. Now, the conference presentations, I have done a lot of conference presentations in the past 2 years. Some have been on media coverage of Muslims on television, media trials, India versus Bharat debate. Then the recent one is social movements and media, how the press has advanced the independence movement during British Raj. This is also part of my ROL because the roots of Indian journalism, there's a section in my ROL where we talk about the history of Indian journalism, how it started with the press, with the first newspaper, and then it went to television, and then we went to digital, so that maybe makes us understand why TV is important even if in this digital age. Publications, the same paper was published through the conference in the International Journal of Science, Engineering and Management, indexed in Google Scholar. Also, I have contributed as a course writer for media advocacy book for University of Mumbai Idol. And I have also written a film review on the Kerala story, which is published in Journal of Arab and Muslim Media Research. In the same journal, another original research paper, Instagram Activism Analyzing the Palestinian Narrative Post 7 October 2023 Attacks, which I have not mentioned here because it's still waiting to be published, but it has been accepted in the same journal, and it has undergone 5 revisions till now. Hopefully it will get published this year. So that's all I've done so far. Thank you. Sorry? The title of my research is Portrayal of Religious Minorities in Primetime National Television News Channels and Digital Audience. So I've covered 6 religious minorities which are mentioned under the Government of India: Muslims, Sikhs, Christians.
Portrayed the Muslims only. I did not see any study you have presented which includes Sikhs, Jains and other people.
This is the study I'm doing is the main research that I'm doing. All these 6 minorities are covered in that. And I have not done presentation specifically for anything because first I was planning to do only on Muslims, but the panel suggested I should do on religious minorities. So I included the ones which are mentioned by Government of India, which is 6 religious minorities.
But still nothing is visible in that. And it seems that you are calling the minorities.
Yes.
The people who are 18% of the population.
Yes.
And you are leaving the 1% and 0.5%, which is actually the real minority of the country.
Yes.
So how you defend your title then?
No, I have not worked
18%
on...
18% is a political words. 18% if I am a physics person,
Yes.
18% I can't ignore anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a very huge number. I don't know why the people in India call minority. But you see the real minorities are the Jains and Sikhs and Zoroastrians.
Yes.
Your study do not cover anything about that.
No, in the main study, this is being covered. In the conference papers, you can say I have not covered, I have not touched those topics as so far. In my conference papers, I have not touched them so far.
Because in last, when you defend your thesis, these questions will come there.
Yes, yes. But also it is very important to mention that in television news channels, Muslims are the only ones being talked about
I
most.
have not seen any debate where not a single Muslim is there. At least
In
every
debates,
debate
they are
is
not
the
there.
Muslims.
In debates, they are not
Some debates I
there.
have seen that all the four are Muslims. So
Yeah.
saying that they are not getting any chance is very unfair.
Not getting any chance is not the point. How they are covered is being
So
discussed.
they are going there, and very people who are very well known, they are not secular, who present on the television.
Yes. So Jains are not mentioned at all, and even Buddhists are not mentioned in debates at all. They are not discussed at all. So that is
should be your highlight, because
Yes,
people
so-
are marginalized in country.
Yes, definitely, I agree. Because in my research, that is what I'm going to try to figure out, ki why the talk is
Maybe
only about...
in your final defense, I will see that.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
See this, you have published in some journal which you said Google
Yes.
indexed. Google
Yes.
Scholar does not index it.
No, actually, it is indexed in some other journals as well. It was directly done by the conference. So it is actually a conference proceeding paper, and then they published it in a journal they selected.
No, but
Yeah.
now you try to find out the journals which are indexed in Scopus
Yes, sir.
or Web of Science.
Yes, sir. I've
And
said
then-
that. Yeah.
Try to publish in those journals
Yes, sir.
because that will give you the visibility.
Correct, sir.
You will
So
get good citations, you will get good H-index, all those things will happen.
Absolutely, sir. I have already mentioned
Before-
the same journal, Journal of Arab and Muslim Media Research.
Before
There's a
submission
paper.
of thesis, you should have Scopus Index journals.
Yes, sir.
You have published Q1.
Yes, sir. That is a review paper, film review paper.
You are done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And one more paper, as I mentioned, on Instagram activism it is.
What is the impact factor or side score of that journal?
I did not check that.
Okay. Okay. How many citations did you get till now for that 23 paper?
I have not checked that as well.
But you have to check yourself. Every day you don't check.
I have seen how many views I've got. That's all I see. It's a film review paper and it's not open access, so maybe not many citations.
Okay.
Okay.
We will take a workshop for them separately, all the PhD students. Huh?
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Bushra. Next in the line, we have Peenal Ajmera. Yes, I also wanted to check if Chetan Achar is here. Oops, Chetna, yeah. So next, Ravi Chavda, be ready. You there. Yeah. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Peenal Ajmera. By profession, I am a company secretary and a law graduate. Out of my interest in Jainism and Dharma studies, I have pursued MA in Jainism and comparative studies, and now I'm pursuing my PhD in Jainism under the guidance of Dr. Shuddhatma Prakash Jain under the Department of Jainism. Title of my work is Analytical Interpretation of Samyaktva Parakram and Studying the Practicality of its Aphorisms. So basically, first I'll explain what is Samyaktva Parakram. Samyaktva is considered as one of the very important aspects under Jain philosophy. It is Samyak Darshan, that is right vision. And the three gems, or the three Ratna of Jainism, like Samyak Gyan, Samyak Darshan, and Samyak Charitra, are considered as very, very important in Jain philosophy for any spiritual seeker to attain liberation. So in that sense, Samyaktva or Samyak Darshan, which is like the same term, is very important for any seeker. And this particular topic is Samyaktva Parakram, which means Parakram or efforts or Purusharth made in the direction of achieving right vision or Samyaktva, or in the right direction. So all of us obviously make a lot of efforts in our day-to-day life, but this particularly focuses on efforts made for liberation. So this topic covers 73 subtopics or subjects, I can say, which are very important for a seeker to attain liberation. And again, this Samyak Parakram comes from a text, canonical text of Shwetambar Jain community, which is considered as one of the very important texts, Shri Uttaradhin Sutra. And this text is considered as very important because it has teachings of Bhagwan Mahavir, which he gave in last 48 hours before his liberation. So it is considered, and it has all the important topics which is necessary for a Jain seeker to understand. And so this text is also important, and this topic is important because it has 73 ways in which a person can attain liberation. So my topic is to analyze this 73 subtopics. The research questions which my work will look into are, first of all, so these are 73 topics, but these are in the question answer format, where a disciple asks to his guru, Jambu Swami will ask Arya Sudharma Swami about 73 topics, and where the guru explains why each one of it is important. But obviously there is a question and there is an answer to it. But what are the technicalities, what are the things a soul undergoes while doing each of the things? So first question is that I will be studying all the factors which are involved in each of the 73 sutras. The second one is that there is nowhere mention in the text whether each one of them are independent or dependent from each other. So my analysis during the text, during the sutra analysis would also be there to understand whether there is any connection between them or not. The third one is also important. Why? Because as we say, a body has different parts, but different parts of the body are connected to each other. Similarly, there is one chapter, that's the 28th chapter in the Uttaradhin Sutra, which talks about Moksha Marg Gati, which shows the four ways, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Charitra and Samyak Tap, as the four ways to attain liberation. So I want to connect the 73 bowl with the four ways of liberation. And fourth, I would like to do a comparative study with Buddhism, Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali Yoga. The methodology which I am going to use is a textual method because it's based on interpretation, etymological method because I'll be considering the root words and their meanings, exegetical method, and there's a special Jain Anuyog system which looks into the way in which Jain agams have to be interpreted. So I'll be using all these four methods while doing my research. And summary of the work done till now. So I have been able to finish the literature review and I am able to find that there is no specific work done in this area at all. So this will be the first English and otherwise also a research work which will be done on this topic. And I have already completed my introduction and all the parts of this topic. And lastly, I would just like to inform that I have presented one paper in an international conference, which I have not mentioned here. One international conference, one national conference, and I have been able to publish one research article in a UGC Callistate journal. Thank you. Any questions?
What language text you are using for your research? Is
So,
it in English or the original text?
no, I am writing my thesis in English,
Reading,
but the
reading.
original texts are in Prakrit. I am referring to the Gujarati, Hindi, and other language translations.
Translated work.
Yeah, I am also learning Prakrit side by side, so that I can also go to the original meanings also.
So you keep on working on learning Prakrit so
Yes.
that you can get the real meaning of that.
Yes, I am
Many
under.
times translations miss the something in that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, as you mentioned, the 28 chapters there, the relation between the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutra. So what type of connection between, I want to know.
Yeah, so basically, if we see the subject like Samyaktva or in that case Samveg or Nirved, there are few terms which are there in this subject, and the similar terminologies are also available in Buddhism or Yoga Sutra in that. So I am trying to figure out if they are same terminologies and if they have the same meaning or different meaning. For example, right now I am working on a paper which is comparative perspectives of Samveg in Jainism and Buddhism, because both the terms are there in both the literatures used multiple times, but they have different meanings assigned to it. So this is the kind of comparison which I am looking into. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Balance. Together, what does it mean? Like from the context, the two words together. What is your interpretation?
Samyaktva and Parakram.
Yeah.
So it's efforts made in for gaining right vision. Right vision is Samyak Darshan or Samyaktva.
Okay.
So Purusharth made in that direction.
Okay. And one more, just quick question. Like you said, 73 of these verses. How long is each of this?
Sorry, how
What,
long?
what is the length of each of the? There are 73.
So it's in a
sutras.
paragraph format, question
Okay.
answer, 73 questions and 73
Okay.
answers.
So It's
Answers maybe are like 3-4 lines
is that
for
short
one
answers,
question.
Short answers or like
Short answers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would have been nice, like, if you have given a typical sutra and
Okay.
it would be nice. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, because of some inevitable reason, Urmi ma'am is not able to attend. So that's why I request Vandana ma'am, Professor Vandana ma'am, to be take a charge as a session chair of this session. Welcome, Vandana ma'am. And I request all the spectators, all the audiences that we already given him a 5 minutes. उसमें से भी मैंने 1 मिनट कम कर दिया है उसका. तो 4 मिनट्स में वो क्या बताएंगे, क्या मेथोडोलॉजी देंगे. The ARM objective is that everyone should aware about what kind of research is going on the campus. That's why. So please limit yourself in 1 or 2 questions, because the whole timetable will be scrambled down if we exceed 1 or 2 minutes more. Please stick to the instructions. Yes, and we have all the details of every research students with which us. So please contact to us. We will provide all the details so that you can interact with them afterwards. Thank you. So as per the instructions from the Dean sir, every research student should be here up to the 6 o'clock so that they can interact with you all. Okay? Thank you.
So next in the line we have Ravi Chawla. I also request Kiran Gupta to be ready for the next presentation.
Hello everyone. My name is Ravi Chawda. I am a full-time entrepreneur and a part-time faculty with Somaiya Institute. I've enrolled in PhD program in 2022 and I will take you through my journey in next 3 minutes time. So my topic for thesis is a study of consumer adoption for vegan products and estimate sustainability in metro cities of India. So this research is going to cover 5 metro cities of India in order to get the idea about what is the factors that lead to consumer adoption and how we can estimate sustainability through it. Until now what I have worked, I have published 2 research papers in Journal of Technology, both Scopus and apart from that I've also I was awarded the best research paper in one of the international conference to turn into a 10 trillion economy. In this, we are going to cover the various factors that leads to consumer adoption and what are the factors which make people turn vegan and why there is a need for such study. So this is the title of one of the research paper that I am working on, the psychological and social factor that are impacting the adoption and maintenance of vegan lifestyle. Why this study is required? Because the term vegan itself is very complex and very confusing. If you ask anyone, they would get confused between vegan and vegetarian. So essentially who are vegetarian are probably lacto-vegan. They consume dairy products, but they refrain from consuming meat and eggs. Why it is important? So that you understand what are the psychological factors that play a role in anyone turning vegan and what are the factors or motivators which could help them in sustaining and maintaining that lifestyle. This lifestyle comes at a cost and with lot of commitment, so that's why it's important that people maintain to it. So why it is important to study this? So that you can investigate the market dynamics and demand for vegan products in the distinct social economic setting. It is also important so that the companies are able to understand how to target this market because it is completely untapped as far as the subcontinent is concerned. It's a Western phenomenon which is slowly getting the acceptance into our country and community. So there are 4 factors that lead to adoption and maintenance of vegan lifestyle. One is psychological factors, second is social factors, third is social support, and fourth is perceived barrier. So I'm trying to establish the relation between the 4 in order to estimate or understand how or what are the factors that lead to adopting vegan lifestyle. In this research, we would able to conclude that one of the primary factor for people to turn towards vegan diet is environmental and ethical concern, personal health being second, and religious and cultural belief being third. We could also conclude that though social factors do play a role, but there is a more research required in order to come with a positive outcome. For this, the methodology that was used, an online delivery platform was used to circulate the survey and to get the desired result, and then the regression analysis was used in order to check the dependent and independent variable. Uh, so this will help us in understanding how vegan choices are influenced by, to just cut it short, anyone would turn vegan because of 3 factors. One, they care for the environment. Second, they care about their personal health. Third, they care about the ethical reason about the animal suffering. What could act as a barrier? Their personal taste and preferences. These are things that could act as a barrier. So the interplay between these two will lead to intention for them to turn vegan, and through which we will be able to estimate sustainability. It has been believed that by 2050, if everyone joins the bandwagon, it could lead into saving 1.5 trillion caused by environmental damage. You could save 8 million lives and many other factors. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Have you come across any article which says just following this kind of a diet is going to have what effect on the physiology of the person on a long-term basis?
Yes.
Can you please answer?
Yes, ma'am. So there is also a great amount of study done that sticking to this diet will lead to a lot of nutritional deficiency, and that is why people would refrain from being vegan. But ma'am, to counter my point, there is also a research which says that consumption of red meat leads to
Sure, that is anyways proven that red meat does have its own effects, but having a diet like this, the long-term consequences can be really quite detrimental.
Yes, there is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure, ma'am.
So you said that psychological and social factors are your title of the thesis, or is the title of the paper?
Title of the research paper.
So how you pin down only on these 2 factors? Why you have not considered other factors? The other factors also.
In thesis, I have covered all the factors, but for this research paper, because ma'am, the thing is that I have published more.
That's what I asked you. The first question is, what is the title of the thesis? But this is the same title.
No, this is the title for my research paper. The title for my thesis is to study the consumer adoption of vegan products in metro cities of India and estimate sustainability through it. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Yes.
Sorry.
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 I just want to point out that there is one more aspect which you have not figured out. So there is also a technological aspect now, because now it's possible to express any kind of protein even in any of the grains. So that is a new kind of grains coming to the market where what Teresa was asking. Even in a vegetarian product, you can express, if you want, through technology, any kind of protein you want to.
Yes.
So that's a new aspect which could be
I
worth
haven't
considering.
included. Yes,
yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Next we have Kiran Gupta. Mrs. Gauri Gotivikar, you're next in line, so kindly be ready.
Hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Kiran Gupta and I'm from KJ Somaiya Institute of Management. I'm guided by Dr. Shaileja Karve. In the first ARM, I had presented my entire PhD work, the possible approaches that I would be taking, and the 5 conference presentations that I had done. In this ARM, I'm trying to present a small PhD work, that is a small paper. So for this paper, the title of this paper is Reflection-Induced Monitoring in Efficacious Short-Term Team Projects. The importance of this paper is that there are 3 variables, that is team efficacy, team monitoring, and team reflection. Team efficacy means the teams believe that they have the capacity or they have the potential to achieve any goal. And team monitoring means within the team, members start tracking each other's performance behavior, work styles, etc. Now, excessive overconfidence, like excessive efficacy within the team, is detrimental to team performance. This has been proved by the literature. And excessive monitoring means this will erode trust within the team members and end up in spoiling team dynamics. So the important aspect here that, now literature stops here. So this paper tries to introduce the role of team reflection, where the team stops and thinks about how to respond to a particular situation based on their past performance. So the theory that was used for this paper was social cognitive theory, because this theory demonstrates the cognitive development that happens during reflection, and this cognitive development helps in regulating their efficacy. Means it channelizes efficacy or the potential, which is mostly theoretical, transforming it into an action mode, like within the teams. So this was the conceptual model, where team efficacy is related to team reflection, and it helps in team monitoring, which will be helpful for the team overall. The task scenario that was given to the team was where these teams had to work on a training calendar for, these teams represented as a fictional film production company. They were supposed to work for 3 months. And at the end of the project, they were supposed to present it to the management for budget approval. There were a lot of task constraints that I had put during this intervention. The methodology used was quite intensive. In brief, team efficacy was, data of team efficacy was collected at the end of 1 week, team reflection was collected at the end of 1.5 months, and monitoring data was collected at the conclusion of the project. So measures were adopted, means the original scales are already validated by the original authors of the paper. The Likert scale, on which, because this is a perception-based study, that is why Likert scale was used between 1 to 6. 1 to 6 was used because Asians tend to use neutral response, therefore 1 to 6 was used. Student teams were used for this with 75. I started with 108 teams, but then after data cleaning, I got 75 teams whose valid responses I could use for data analysis. So the results were such that I could find direct relationship as not supported. That means the hypothesis was not supported, not true. And indirect relationship, where the role of reflection becomes important, was found significant. So that's how I could conclude that team reflection is very much important, and it has a lot of implications. Of course, like any other research, this paper also has a limitation that the data was self-reported. It needs to be done in a field study. And stated of this paper is that it has been accepted by the journal and will be published in April. Thank you.
Any questions?
For selecting them.
108, no sir, actually we did not decide that so many teams only we would target. It was a voluntary study, and therefore 108 teams volunteered to participate. However, the members within those teams did not respond properly. Therefore, those teams I had to eliminate. And therefore, I could come down to, by definition of team, to 75 teams.
All right, yeah. It's actually the number of star days per year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very special number, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Have you taken any help from statistician to before
No,
designing the estimate?
I have done the...
Because what happens, we do lot of work. We set up a lot of manpower and we do not do proper experimental designing. Like as you mentioned, 108 number is very less number when it comes to population surveys and all. That doesn't make significant study, which we fail miserably, to publish in Scopus Index journal.
Right, sir. Sir, my guide is a psychologist, organizational psychologist. So she has guided me to set up the design for this study.
Now, even yesterday somebody said give from Mumbai zone, some studies, and with 10, 20 interviews doesn't make Mumbai. Our population size, our diversity, ethnic diversity, all that we have to take into consideration when we plan our such studies.
Sir, I have taken it into consideration, but due to paucity of time, I can't mention the details of it. I would definitely interact with you after the session.
Okay, thank you.
Is any question? Thank you.
Next in the line we have Gauri Gotevekar. Neha Kulkarni, you are next. So be ready.
Thank you. Good morning. Myself, Mrs. Gauri Gotevekar. I am working as librarian in KJ Somaiya Institute of Technology. My research guide is Dr. Hindura Vaidande. Title of work is Institutional Repository Using Open Source Softwares, a Study. The importance of the study is basically it explores the cost effectiveness and customizable solutions for managing the academic knowledge, fostering greater access to research outputs. Then open source repositories promote collaboration, transparency and long-term preservation of scholarly work. That is very important. The preservation is very important and the study will definitely highlight on it. By evaluating various platforms, it is important to evaluate the various platforms. So this study will guide in selecting appropriate systems that align with the goals. It also highlights the challenges and best practices involved in adopting open source softwares, and ultimately this research contributes to enhancing the sustainability and accessibility of academic resources worldwide. The problem statement and objectives and hypothesis. Objectives of this study, they mainly include to study institutional repository and its importance in institution, university or for college, to overview the need of open source softwares for institutional repository, to identify problems while uploading intellectual work by the end users, to make recommendations based upon findings of the study, to design institutional repository model for institution, university and college. The hypothesis, institutional repository enhances visibility and access to research output. Institutional repository improves preservation and management of digital content, and open source softwares are of great help to develop the IR, that is institutional repository. The methodology includes mixed methods combining both qualitative and quantitative research methods, and it will try to capture broader spectrum of insights about the adoption, challenges and effectiveness of open source softwares for institutional repositories from different perspectives. And the expected outcome is that the expected outcome of the research includes comprehensive evaluation of the benefits and challenges of using open source software for institutional repositories, insights into user satisfaction and institutional experiences with different open source software platforms, a comparison between open source and proprietary repository, solutions, providing recommendations for institutions, considering open source adoption, and a set of best practices and guidelines for institutions aiming to implement or improve their open source institutional repositories. So that's all. Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Next we have Neha Kulkarni. After that there is Girish Nete.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for assembling today. My topic that I am doing for thesis is basically influence of OTT consumption on working adults, a critical analysis. I am guided by Dr. Saranya Tharoor, and just to tell you that it has been recently approved by the DAC as of December 2024, which means I'm in the initial journey of my PhD thesis, so any recommendations is open, welcome. Just to give you a gist, why this is important is because I am from the mass communication background. By profession, I'm a PR profession, and by interest, I think like all of us, I'm a film connoisseur and also a consumer of OTT web series that come in. The importance, when I started my literature review for this, was around to understand what already exists. And I found that a lot has been done as to how OTT has grown as compared to television. What are the kind of content that is coming out? What is its impact on the youth, like binge watching and all? But then I thought that understanding its impact now on how it shapes the behavior of the people, the cohort, that is the working adults, which research shows is the maximum consumer, is also important. I have specifically outlined my study towards understanding its impact on the cultural values, and the cohort I've chosen definitely forms a major segment. To start with it, these will be my objectives, I will be investigating the influence of OTT content on the cultural values and societal attitudes of adults. Among them, I plan to study specific things, how it influences the gender dynamics. I want to understand the role play between men and women, if there is a portrayal shown of women being the decision makers, or if there is an equal division of household work, how does it impact the consumers? And I will also be studying whether it has any the portrayal of it has any impact on the attitude towards intergenerational caregiving and comparing them for familial support. And joint versus nuclear families is also another aspect which I wanted to study. I plan to adopt a mixed methods approach wherein I will start with a quantitative survey, and definitely the survey will be largely among the working adults, wherein their attitudes, wherein their consumption, and how do they perceived its portrayal will be tried to be studied, and followed by a focused sample interview wherein I plan to speak to adults from different walks of life to get a detailed analysis of how they feel the consumption of it shapes their behavior and their attitudes. Definitely considering if my thesis will have expected outcomes in terms of the insights it will bring on the representation of OTT, which is fastest growing and supposed to be the largest consumed digital network. I have to understand audience perceptions. It is also something that a few studies have touched upon. Policy implications, considering the new broadcasting bill is, the draft is out and the government sets to finalize it very soon. Theoretical contributions will also be there in terms of what people say and what kind of results I bring out. And as I said, that the cultural impact and societal reflection is something which I primarily want to study. Thank you.
Is this something innovative, new thing, or first time such kind of study being done?
Yes, sir. Considering whatever literature review I have done till now, and I'm still in the process of doing since it's recently approved, the
impact of how my specific cohort is taking it and how they are getting influenced by it is a thing which is not being studied yet. The aspects which I have seen are binge watching or their impact on when they see violence or excessive nudity.
What do you think for taking the interview, interacting with 300 families and 42 male? How much time you required?
So over the course, when a survey will be with around 300 people and interview of 40 people, I believe I can finish my survey in about 4 months because I have my working adults, the cohort that I have chosen is something that I have ready access to, considering I work in the field as well. And 40 adults is something that will take some time, so I have kept about 6 to 8 months.
So how are you going to correlate with 40 people's interview with the cultural and no impact?
With the specific questions that are given, yeah.
That is sufficient to see the impact on culture of the society?
As in when
what
I
happens,
ask...
we do PhD, again I'm telling everybody here, students, and we invest our 3 years, right? University is paying good amount of stipend, you are working here for more than 10 hours. So normally, the size, and that's the reason we say we are not able to publish, the journal asks for the payment, because they know we do a lot of parallel things, like such OTT and all this effect being studied in Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, or some other city, doesn't mean it has been not, doesn't affect the society. So you have to plan above that. So population size should have been more, and you should have categorized different people in the society, right? And then see what is the correlation between different kind of society with the middle class, higher middle class, lower class, a very higher class, and then see how this is affecting, and then larger population size. That's most important. We have statistics department, interact with the statisticians, design your experiments properly. It has to be significant, and proper correlation should be established. Then people across the globe will refer such research papers. Then your citation will increase. Otherwise, the publication or whatever study we do, it remains with the researcher and the university. See, today, if you see the China, everybody knows now DeepSeek has come. What they have done now, they have used more than 10,000 gaming chips because they were not allowed to use the chips. And then, within very limited resources, they have established one of the best AI tool. And today, if you see in China, a lot of research being done on social impact and all, with larger population size. That doesn't happen in our. We have to change our somewhere mindset up, that we have to involve more and more population, more and more people in the studies, and then we can make a generalized statement. It is definitely happen. This government will also happy to use such policies and such research in their policy making. That is my suggestion to everyone.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Your feedback is noted.
Is your guide in the hall?
Yes.
So you are noted down, madam? You could listen what suggestions were. Please increase the sample size. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Girish Nete. After that we have Siddesh Kolge.
Namaste all. So, my name is Girish Nehte. I'm a faculty and a student of KJ Somaiya Dharma Studies. I'm also a student of IIT Madras, currently pursuing data science course over there. And I'm also doing a lot of things parallelly. This is my PhD thesis subject. It got approved in August. The title is Prospective Comparative Study of Effects of Jal Niti and Sutra Niti in Patients with Chronic Sinusitis. So the importance of my topic is currently, as we all have seen yesterday, we are currently promoting a lot of interdisciplinary research. So my research falls in that category. Secondly, I am evaluating traditional yogic practices in comparison to the traditional, rather standard medical treatments that are allopathic treatments. So we are kind of validating the efficacy of our traditional practices. Third importance is my research is well aligned with our national motto of promoting more and more traditional Indian knowledge system processes for improving health across the nation and across the world. So that's the importance of my topic. The problem statement is chronic sinusitis significantly impacts quality of life. In the hall currently, 1 among every 5 person is having this disease. We may not be diagnosed in that way, but statistics says that 1 among every 5 has this disease. So when you go to a ENT surgeon or a ENT specialist, he may not tell you that you have chronic rhinosinusitis or sinusitis, but you have it. So that is what it tells. It is just that it is not showing symptoms. That's the reason we don't feel it. So, but it hampers. So once rainy season starts, and most of us will have cold. That is the trigger for this disease. The gaps that we have identified is the traditional allopathic treatments, they don't cure the disease. They kind of just cure the symptoms. So the objective for my study is to compare Jal Niti and Sutra Niti with standard allopathic treatments, which will reduce the symptoms and it will stop the reoccurrence also, given certain conditions. Then then to assess the impact of treatments on quality of life and functional status of patients. So there are medical standard questionnaires which can be used for this purpose to evaluate the safety and tolerability of the Jal Niti and Sutra Niti. So these are kind of invasive techniques, so which we need to study if a lot of patients are ready to accept this on them. The methodology, it's quite detailed. I'm going to have 120 sample size, divide them in groups of 3, one with treatment, another one with allopathic treatment, other 2 with allopathic and Sutra Niti, Jal Niti. Currently, I am discussing with Dean Medicine if I can remove the allopathic standard treatments in the rest of the 2 groups. So I'm discussing if it is ethically allowed. Then there is these 2 questionnaires, medical history with SNOT 22 and TNSS, which will be followed up for 10 weeks. My study doesn't stop at 10 weeks. It is just for the sake of PhD that I will be stopping. The patients can then pursue the kriyas after their participation in the study, if they feel that it is helping them. So we have kept that part open. Outcome measures, we are going to check the SNOT score, the TNSS score, and the input from the surgeons. Achievements, the topic is approved. Currently, co-guideship with Dean Medicine is in progress. The research proposal, I have also given a research proposal in YCMOU Yoga National Conference, and it got accepted, it got published. The expected outcome for my thesis will be Jal Niti and Sutra Niti groups should show, the reports might show better SNOT 22 score than the allopathic groups. The Jal Niti and Sutra Niti groups might report less or no recurrence of symptoms in them. That's more or less the outcome of my research. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, madam.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you are talking about chronic sinusitis is often associated with polyps and so on in the nasal. So how is your SNOT analysis actually going to help? You might want to just go in for some CT scans or some scan reports to get a better understanding. And this might want to be a much more longer duration of analysis.
Madam, actually, if you see in methodology, I have not given inclusion-exclusion criteria. So we are not going to treat any acute patients. So polyps and patients with other related diseases or even symptoms, we are not including them in the study. So the patients with polyps and severely deviated nasal septum, we are excluding them. We are not including.
What's the reason?
Sorry, yeah, because the processes that we are using, the kriyas, they cannot be completed by patients with polyps. The polyps will block the water that is going in. The polyps would block the sutra that will go in the nose. So
but that will just be a partial blockage, I would understand. But of course, you probably know better than me.
Yeah, I discussed the same with the surgeon also. So he said that if the polyp is sore, then the patient won't do the process. And moreover, the frequency at which I am doing, it is almost alternate day. So that he has denied that the patient won't be able to do that. Anything else?
Same again, I was wanted to asking you that what are the inclusion exclusion criteria that you mentioned, and for her, because along with cyanitis or a serious condition with other comorbidities,
Yes, yes.
should be avoided.
Yes, so we are excluding BP patients, any patients who are smoking, any patients, of course, pregnant ladies, and anyone who has had a nasal surgery. So we are excluding them.
And since you have 120 population with, I think, allergic and rhinitis patients.
Yes, not allergic,
Okay.
only chronic.
Only chronic.
Yeah.
What about the dropouts after 120?
So actually 120 is not the size, it is size with 15% buffer. So we have kept 15% population as buffer. The statistical size came out to be 35 for each group.
The degree of freedom should be not less than how much?
10%.
10%.
Yeah. Statistician suggested.
12% rather.
Yes. So he suggested that you get as many people as possible because people drop out, so your data shouldn't get affected.
Yeah, but that's what. See, this is our own method of cleaning the nasal pathway.
Yes.
For getting rid of the allergens and dust and maybe hypertrophy response as he was mentioning. So better to increase again population size.
Oh, yeah, so, okay.
Because 120 is not sufficient to endorse this treatment is going to help for rhinitis or your sinusitis.
The size that G-Power software has given is 35. So it is still less, it is actually 33, but my consideration is that if I give a solid proof on 40 people even for one process, it is still okay statistically, but as you say, I can go on till 150 also, or maybe more, so I don't know.
Now, what do you expect, are you going to recommend this treatment those who have normal sinusitis?
Yes.
Allergic rhinitis?
Yeah, Dean Medicine sir, he said that if I am able to successfully pull out this thesis, that I am able to prove that Jalniti and Sutraniti is helping patients, then it can become a standard treatment in medical side also, so they can recommend.
During COVID, you must have remembered doctors from Pune, the Tamangishkar Hospital, were demonstrating this therapy and recommending for the people. Maybe many of people must have done it across the country. So why don't you collect that data?
Sir,
right? What they have done, how long they have done, and whether that has benefited or not. On that basis, you should design.
Yeah, there is one ethical hindrance in that I am made aware by the Dean sir, that since I am not a clinical doctor, so the data has to come to our hospital side. It cannot come to me. So I will discuss with them and then pull the data. Yeah, sure. No issues. I will definitely. Yes, I am there.
Hello, sir. I have one question.
Yes.
Is the age group will be a determining factor while selecting this
Yes,
sample
madam.
size?
The age category for my research is 18 to 59. Senior citizens are, they are not included in this study. Younger population is less susceptible to having this kind of thing. Aged population is more susceptible. So I'm going to pan across 18 to 59.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have Siddesh Kolke. After that we have Ramakrishna Panchapekshan.
Very good morning, one and all present over here. Myself, Mr. Siddesh Kolke. Currently, I am a research scholar at SK Somaiya. I am in my pre-PhD phase. I am in semester 2. I am working on a research paper. It is being guided by Dr. Sachin Acharikar sir. Moving ahead with that. So basically, the research topic is entirely based on how internship is helping us to bridge the technical gap between the academia and industry exposures. Let's move towards the importance. According to the review of literature, we find out there was a lot of technical gap and a practical skill gap which is being observed by the industry people. So there was no competency over there. So my entire research would be focusing on how we are going to address this technical gap and bridge this gap between the academic and industry exposure. Moving ahead, there was one article which was being published in Economic Times on 15th of June 2024, which stated that the TCS has the TCS had 8,000 positions which has been vacant, but it is not been filled just because they are not finding the suitable candidate for it. So this was the entire thing, skill gap, which is being observed. So this entire research will help us to build the employability also, as well as to bring the graduates as an industry ready. It will also help us, the academia, to redesign the curriculum and to rethink and bring a practical approach towards the study. Moving ahead, the problem state is being faced, where we are going to be address the theoretical knowledge and bridge the gap among the technical and the industry exposures. The objectives were faced, the three objectives were faced. The first objective, we are going to see how much, till what extent the impact is going to be happen. The second, is it creating an employability among the young generations? Next, what are the roles of internship while bridging this gap? On the basis of this, we have framed an alternate and null hypothesis have been framed. Moving ahead. The proposed methodology is basically the data would be collected from the accounting graduates, those who are done with their internships, and along with an industry experts. The data would be collected from the source of primary and secondary data. Primary data would be collected through a structured questionnaire. Secondary data would be collected from the reputed journals, international and national journals. Sampling method would be a stratified sampling, where we would be creating a strata for collecting the data, where the entire population of Mumbai can be covered. The research is applied and quantitative in research. The Mumbai city is only taken into the consideration. The statistical analysis for statistics, we would be using IBM SPSS. Expected outcome, basically graduates experience overall internship, is it helping or not, and it would be help to redesign the curriculum if there is a need, and what bring additional we can be brought to the bench of the students. Thank you so much. I am open for the questions.
Anyway, I think I am audible. So, due to the paucity of the time, we request you to refrain your questions during your tea break and lunch break. Please ask the questions. We have another 5-6 presentations lined up. We wanted to finish it on time.
Any questions?
No questions.
Thank you so much.
Otherwise, there are a lot of questions. I myself have 7 questions for you.
Next, we have Ramakrishna Panchapekshan, and post that we have Mitesh Bahadwala.
Good morning. I'm Ramakrishnan. I'm an assistant professor with Somaiya School of Design and a PhD scholar with Institute of Dharma Studies. My research work is interdisciplinary. It focuses on design, artistry, and archaeology. The title of my work is Unraveling Narratives in Stone, investigating the visual narratology in Chola temples from 9th to 12th century. My research is on the narrative friezes from the imperial Chola temples around Tanjavur. The research investigates how Chola artisans from the 9th to 12th century employed various visual narrative techniques in the 7 temples under study. It highlights the significance of these narratives in temple design, analyzing their spatial arrangement and structural integration within sacred spaces. The 7 temples which under study are Nageshwaran temple from Kumbakonam, Brahmapurishwar temple from Pulamangai, Rajarajeshwaram temple from Tanjavur, Brahadishwara temple from Gangaikonda Shorapuram, Airavateshwar temple from Darasuram, Amritakanteshwar temple from Mel Kadambur, and Kampeshwar temple from Tribhuvanam. The objective of my work. The study examines the role of narratives in sacred spaces, focusing on their function, technique, and placement. It analyzes the narrative modes used by Chola sculptors in creating friezes, exploring the narrative methodology and design. The research investigates how Chola artisans visually represented narratives, integrated them into the temple architectural framework. Methodology. The study employs qualitative and literature-based methodologies combining field visits and scholarly research to analyze Chola temple narratives. The primary research includes visits to 7 selected temples with meticulous documentation of narrative friezes and architectural elements through high-resolution photographs. Findings will be examined within historical, artistic, and cultural context, integrating field data with literature-based insights. A theoretical framework will be incorporated as research progresses for interpretation of visual narrative mode. A pilot study was conducted almost a few months back, and the work from the pilot study will be soon published in Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute Journal. And another study is in progress, and which I'm presenting in a conference which is going to happen in September. Achievements till date. I'm currently on the 4th phase. The first phase largely involved field work, documenting all the 7 temples, facing a lot of challenges, getting a lot of permissions from archaeological department, meeting dead ends, and finally managed to document all the 7 temples. The second phase largely involved literature review, mapping out the narrative panels from the photographs on the 4 temples. I wanted to see how it goes, so started mapping out on the 4 temples. And the first structure of the thesis was developed during this phase just to see, to give me a direction. The third phase, again, the literature review continued. Taxonomy of narrative modes were generated based on existing research, mapping out the narrative panels in the remaining 3 temples. And currently, I'm on the 4th phase, developing a framework for visual narrative grammar. The outcome, the research will shed light on various narrative methodologies employed during the Chola period and develop a theoretical framework for visual narrative, in other ways called visual narrative grammar. Thank you. Any question? Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Mitesh Bhardwala. And after that, Anandita Banerjee, could you confirm if you're here? So, Rohini Vayal, you're next.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Mitesh Bharwada, and I am pursuing a PhD from KJ Somaiya Institute of Management under the guidance of Dr. Anjali Chopra. So I've been in the telecom sector, in the marketing and product management domain for almost 2 decades. And when it comes to privacy of users, it's a very touchy subject, right? Because as telcos, we can actually, we have technologies to hear conversations, read messages, even track where users are going all the time, right? But there are strong rules and regulations that govern how this behavior can be pursued. However, when we look at it in the online context, a lot of frameworks are there, but they are not properly implemented, or they are not even properly framed. So the title of my study is to study factors that influence use of consent management tools in an online context. When it comes to online privacy, it is more of an individual prerogative. The individual decides what information he deems is to be private and what can be shared. And this is what consent management is all about. So it's important to understand what are the factors that influence a user's intent to use these tools, to identify what are the enablers and hurdles towards desired behavior. When I say desired behavior, it's about the state's efforts to ensure privacy of its citizens. That's where, India has introduced the Digital Data Protection Bill and Act in October 23. We'll also look at a demographic lens to identify and manage consent, which can give guidance to policymakers and will help them in improving implementation of the bill. Plus, this study can also lay the groundwork for adopting technologies like blockchain, self-sovereign identity, etc., to govern privacy and fight infringement. So the objectives are to understand drivers of user intent, to use consent management tools for online data protection and translation to actual usage of those tools, to identify if there is any significance in terms of age, gender, and context in which internet is used, and to provide recommendations to strengthen the consent management framework so that it can translate to greater usage of online privacy protection tools. I'm going to do this through a mixed method research. It will start with a qualitative research to shortlist the relevant constructs and to zero down on a model that we will test using quantitative research. In the quantitative research, I plan to do a sampling with 750 respondents, basis generational classification, Gen X, Y, and Z, spending at least 5 hours per day on the internet and social media, and propose to use quota sampling to achieve the desired mix that we need. The questionnaire will be a 5-point Likert scale with 4 statements per construct. And obviously, we'll do a pilot test before we roll out to test the efficacy of the whole questionnaire. Mix of multiple data analysis tools, univariate for the demographic part, bivariate to correlate the construct to the intent to use tools, and multivariate for the overall model. So quick glance at the model. There are a number of constructs which I plan to shortlist basis qualitative research. The research title has been registered 2 months back, and I'm in the qualitative stage as we speak now. Expected outcomes to propose a model for factors influencing intent to use consent management tools, assess the relationship between the intent to use and actual usage of the tools, examine to see if there is any significance with respect to demographic factors, and even look at context of internet use. And the above will help in understanding the role of each drivers across demographics, and accordingly we can recommend right set of actions to aid the government's efforts to protect citizens from all implications arising from privacy breaches. Thank you. Yeah, it'll be by asking them the question around it. Average. It's an average. It's an average. See, actually, if I look at statistics, then an average Indian spends about 3.5 hours. So I am actually asking 5 hours because one, to see what happens is many a times we even when we do email or when we do WhatsApp, we are actually using internet in some way or the other. So everything, including social media. Social media I had to specifically mention because when I was speaking to some people, WhatsApp was just considered as a means of communication rather than a social media tool. Okay, ma'am, we'll take it offline. Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Rohini Vayal. After that, we have Manoj Kumar Mohapatra.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Rohini Vail here. By profession, I am a senior manager, intellectual property, and I'm also a research scholar at KJ Somaiya Institute of Management, and I'm doing my work under the able guidance of Dr. Prema Basargekar. Through my work, I'm actively engaged in the process of drug discovery and development, and the concept of open innovation has always fascinated me because the pharma industry is traditionally known for being very secretive about its work, its R&D, its outcome of the projects and everything. So basically we can say that the industry was completely vertically integrated. But with the increasing cost and increased timelines, the patient-centric approaches, the pharma industry had to open up its boundaries for outside partners also. So while going through the literature, one thing which was identified was, as compared to the Western countries, which has very well adapted to the opportunities and framework provided by open innovation, the Indian pharma industry is still in the initial stages, and maybe it hesitates somewhere to fully, wholeheartedly adopt the opportunities provided by the open innovation framework. So this, considering this in mind, the literature search was conducted, and the further work I will be presenting in the forthcoming slides. So the title or the issues which were identified as most important in implementation of open innovation in the Indian pharma industry was the employee attitudes and perceptions, and supported by the organizational culture. So title of the work here is Impact of Employee Attitude and Perceptions on Organizational Readiness for Open Innovation and in Indian drug industry perspective. So as I told, the importance of the work focuses on understanding the complexity of the drug industry coupled with increased cost, patient-centric approaches, short technology life cycles, etc. And this is the thing which is prompting the organizations to move from closed to open innovation models. But as I told earlier, the Indian industry is still in the initial stages in adoption of the concept. So the importance of human attitudes and perceptions in successful implementation of open innovation initiatives has been acknowledged in the literature. However, such study in the Indian drug industry context across organizations of various sizes, specifically towards various modes of open innovation, are missing in the literature. So the objectives considered for this work are to assess the impact of employee attitudes and perceptions on organizational readiness for open innovation in the Indian drug industry, to examine the impact of organizational culture on organizational readiness for open innovation within the Indian drug industry, so both the factors, and to assess the influence of employee attitudes and organization culture in combination on inbound and outbound open innovation. Due to the time constraint, I will not go in detail of the types of open innovation, but these are very important factors when we study the concept. Now the methodology, which I can say is ongoing. I am actually in the midway of my PhD journey, and we have adopted the mixed method approach, where the both qualitative and quantitative data would be combined. Again, I would like to mention here that the work so far conducted in which the literature mentions is more of the qualitative nature, and my contribution towards the literature would be again the quantitative side. So I will not go in details of this thing. We have decided to collect data from the quantitative data from 300 employees involved in open innovation activities, which would majorly be senior managers and department heads. There would be diverse sample, include startup, SMEs, large pharmaceutical companies, MNCs, medical devices, etc. And so coming to the achievements and expected outcomes, the major research gaps have been identified. initial round of interviews with industry experts to validate our research questions have been completed. We have incorporated the views obtained from them because they are the direct stakeholders from the industry. And expected outcomes, as you can see here, I will not go through them, but it would be a contribution and will give general insights that can benefit the drug industry. And so, yeah. So these are the expected outcomes. Thank you so much. I'll leave. Yeah, thank you so much.
Last but not the least, we have Manoj Kumar Mohapatra.
Yeah, good morning all. Myself Manoj Kumar Mahapatra, and I joined in PhD chemistry in July 2023, and recently my topic also approved, and I'm working under the guidance of Dr. Jitendra Satam. So this is my approved topic, that is development and functionalization of metal organic frameworks for selective hydrogenation and coupling reactions. So why we go for metal organic frameworks? Because these MOFs are porous material consisting of metal ions and organic clusters, so which can coordinate with each other and form MOF, and which is a high surface area with tunable structures and versatility. So there are some examples like MIL101, YO66, which is the diphysing base. So due to their high porous material, these are wide applications, such as it can be used in catalysis, gas storage, energy storage, or drug delivery. So there are many advantages of MOF as a catalyst, such as it has high surface area, and you can pore size you can be tunable, and it has versatile functionalization by mixing mixed metals or by functionalizing the organic groups, and it is a high catalytic activity, and it can be reusability and recyclability. Yeah, the research motivation, because why we are going for coupling and hydrogenation, because these coupling reactions are important in organic synthesis to form CC and CN bonds, and these are particularly very important in the pharmaceutical industry and agrochemicals for synthesizing key intermediates for products. And the efficiency selected of these reactions can be improved by modifying the catalyst. And similarly, in selective hydrogenation, if there are more than one functional group, it is very difficult to get the selectivity. So these are very important in fine chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and agrochemicals. There are many challenges to get high selectivity and minimizing the side reactions. So some examples are taken from literature. This is a Heck reaction, and this is Suzuki Miura, where you can use palladium triphenyl phosphine. It is a homogeneous catalyst. And similarly, selective hydrogenation, when, for example, if you take A, there are 3 different types of products can be formed in the hydrogenation. So we have to modify a catalyst such a way that we should get a single product by minimizing the side products. And from literature, I just summarize this problem statement in 4 categories. One is recyclability of the catalyst. Second is scalability of the synthetic procedure to prepare this catalyst. And third is selective hydrogenation in presence of more than one functional group. And fourth is product selectivity in the coupling reaction by minimizing the side reactions. So this is the primary objective of my research. One is to design and synthesize functionalized MOF with the tailored property for enabling catalytic activity, and synthesize the MOF using efficient and scalable process, and evaluate the performance catalyst in selective hydrogenation and coupling reactions. So these are methodologies to follow, such as to identify what is the MOF we have to prepare, then what are the methods we have to follow, and then characterization of MOF, and then evaluation of this MOF by carrying out the reactions. And these are the expected outcomes. One is we will get some modified MOF, which can be functionalized in the both way. Either you can change the metal or you can functionalize the organic group. And second is you can improve the synthesis method of this preparing this MOF. And then the catalytic insight you can see by enhancing selectivity in hydrogen coupling reaction. And fourth one is to recover and reuse in the reaction. And there are some MOFs I prepared in the lab. And this is summary. So these MOFs have gained significant attention in the recent years for their potential in catalysis, including coupling reactions. So the way forward is like we can design and synthesize functionalized MOFs, and we can find out the selectivity, and then stability and reusability of this MOF in the reaction, and then scalability and practicability, and then diverse application. Finally, we can think about environmental and safety consideration while using this MOFs. So these are references I've taken. Thank you. And recently, we have, last week only, we sent our review article for publication. We're waiting for the reply. Yeah, thank you. No, this is a review article, means literature review. That is same thing. Functionalization of the ZIF, that is on geolytic mediational framework, application coupling and hydrogen reaction.
Which journal did you send it?
Synthetic communication.
Synthetic communication. Team for lab. But which is who is the publisher? Synthesis.
No, this is Taylor and Frankis.
Taylor and Frankis. Synthetic communication.
Yeah.
It's a review article.
Yeah.
So what is the scope of the review?
This is different ZIF materials used for the coupling reaction and hydrogenation, selective hydrogenation.
So that is your first article, or have you?
Yeah, first article. Yeah.
Have you published some original research publications?
No. Recently my topic is approved in 2 months back only.
Okay. So this is the literature survey you carried out for your research.
Yes.
And that you tried to publish it as
Yes.
in that case. It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
So what is the stage they have received?
That is in the peer review stage.
Peer review stage.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So being a review article, there may not be paid charges, no?
No.
No paid charges.
No paid
It's not a paid journal.
No.
It's not a paid journal. Okay, all the best. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is for all the 12 presentations. Now I request session chair Professor Vandana ma'am to summarize this session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Santosh, for giving me an opportunity to chair this session. First of all, congratulations to all the research scholars to coming to this platform and presenting your work. I understand it needs a lot of courage to come up and present your work. Just a quick summary, you may say, or my observations. When you are doing your PhD work, please understand PhD is not your destination. It's always a journey. You actually are starting with your research work, and research work continues much after the PhD. So one thing you need to remember, when you are working on a PhD proposal or a PhD work or a PhD research, whatever you wanted to call it as, always look at it in terms of your novelty and the originality. What contribution or significance you are bringing to the field of the knowledge, or maybe for the policy makers, or maybe for the academicians, how your research is going to be much fruitful for the larger audience and not just for yourself. Also, remain focused on your research work and always consider the ethical considerations while doing the research, because when you collect the data, a lot of ethical considerations comes up into. Most of the time, we researchers talk about the demographic data, but you have to be very clear about the demographic data, how you are looking in terms of, so you need to justify a lot of things. Also, move beyond your repetitive research work and all that, and you look at in terms of your inclusion and the exclusion criteria. You need to have a proper justifications for that. And one thing which I have observed is many of you keep mistaking keep confused between the topic and the title. Your title is a much filtered way you are looking in terms of, so it has to be very concrete. The title itself should be able to communicate what research you are going to handle. So you look at in terms, and all the best for your future research journey. Thank you.
Now I request Teresa ma'am for the next proceeding.
Just to add, one thing that I noticed in the PhD students' presentation, which is also not accepted, is that if you have a presentation, you have to mention your guide, your supervisor. There were some slides where the supervisor was not mentioned, and that is not accepted. As the part of a small token of appreciation from the ARM team, may I request the Dean Science to kindly come on, Professor Ghosh to kindly come on stage and hand them a token of appreciation. Thank you, Vandana ma'am, for your time. So you have to hand over also to Dr. Nilesh Wagh. Thank you, sir, for your time and efforts to make this session happen. Oh, sorry. Dr. Ghosh is also the Dean of Dharma Studies. I missed out on that introduction. So the stage is now open for the next session.